Everyone thinks the next iPhone upgrade is all about cameras, but Apple may finally be fixing the part users stare at every single day, the front display. The iPhone 18 Pro Max leaks are starting to paint a very different picture, and this could be the first iPhone in years that instantly feels new the moment you pick it up. Today, we are diving into the biggest iPhone 18 Pro Max rumors, from the redesigned display and upgraded cameras to smarter buttons, stronger battery life, satellite texting, and the huge changes Apple could be preparing behind the scenes. Recent iPhones have looked almost frozen in time. Year after year, the front design barely changes, and many users are starting to notice it. That is why the biggest rumor surrounding the iPhone 18 Pro Max is not about raw speed or AI features. It's about the screen itself finally evolving. According to multiple leaked sources, Apple is reportedly shrinking the dynamic island even further. It may not disappear completely yet, but if the cutout becomes significantly smaller, the entire phone could instantly look cleaner and far more futuristic. And that matters more than people think. The second that black cutout stops dominating your attention, the display suddenly feels larger, sharper, and more immersive. Apple doesn't need flashy curves or a folding gimmick to modernize the iPhone. It simply needs to let the screen take over the front glass. Imagine watching videos, scrolling social media, gaming, or reading articles with less distraction at the top. A smaller dynamic island means fewer interruptions and a more premium visual experience every single time you unlock the phone. Even casual users who never check specs notice when a display feels cleaner. But the display upgrades may go deeper than just design. Rumors also suggest Apple is working on higher sustained brightness levels while improving power efficiency at the same time. If true, the iPhone 18 Pro Max could look brighter outdoors while consuming less battery during everyday use. That's the kind of upgrade you feel constantly without needing to open a benchmark app. Now here's where things get interesting. The display may not even be the biggest change anymore, because Apple could also be redesigning how you physically interact with the phone itself. Leaks suggest the iPhone 18 Pro Max may introduce more pressure-sensitive controls across its hardware buttons, including a redesigned camera control button. Instead of simple clicks and swipes, Apple may be pushing towards smarter force-based inputs, and this could completely change the feel of the iPhone in daily use. Think about how often you use the side buttons: adjusting volume, launching the camera, taking photos quickly, locking the screen. These tiny interactions happen hundreds of times a week, yet nobody talks about them during launches. If Apple makes these controls more responsive, durable, and customizable, the phone could feel dramatically more refined in everyday handling. But before we go further, we need to talk about the cameras, because Apple may finally be making one of the biggest photography upgrades in years. Flip the phone around and the overall camera layout may still look familiar, but under the glass, the rumors are far more exciting. Leaks suggest Apple could finally move every rear lens to a full 48-megapixel sensor setup. And if that happens, it solves one of the biggest issues with smartphone photography today: inconsistency. Right now, switching between lenses on many phones can feel like switching between completely different cameras. Colors shift, detail changes, lighting behaves differently. But with upgraded sensors across all focal lengths, Apple could deliver a far more seamless photography experience. You switch lenses, and every shot still feels like it came from a professional camera system. Then comes the rumor everyone is talking about: variable aperture technology. For years, smartphones have relied heavily on software blur to fake DSLR-style depth. Sometimes it works, sometimes it completely fails around hair, glasses, hands, or difficult lighting. But a real variable aperture changes everything. A wider aperture could allow more natural background separation and better low-light performance. A narrower aperture could improve sharpness for group photos and bright outdoor scenes. If Apple truly brings physical aperture control to the iPhone 18 Pro Max, portrait photography could start looking dramatically more natural instead of artificially processed. Night photography may improve too. Instead of aggressively brightening shadows and over-smoothing details, the camera could capture more realistic textures, cleaner highlights, and more balanced lighting using actual optical control rather than heavy software tricks. And that's the kind of upgrade people notice immediately, even if they never understand the technical reason behind it. Now let's talk about design, because Apple still needs this phone to stand out visually in stores. Rumors suggest Apple is testing new titanium finishes, including dark cherry, refined blue tones, and deeper premium color options designed to instantly separate the iPhone 18 Pro Max from previous generations. If Apple gets the dark cherry finish right, it could easily become the signature color of the lineup. The good news is, titanium finishes are finally becoming more expressive instead of plain gray metal, and bold colors may be the easiest way for Apple to make the phone feel fresh without completely redesigning the shape. Now, moving to performance, the rumored A20 Pro chip may not just focus on speed this year. Yes, leaks mention around 15% faster performance, but the more important rumor is nearly 30% better efficiency